Good evening, friends. Welcome to the another episode of Growth Rap 2020. Growth Rap 2020 is a series of fireside chats wherein we are going to interview or we are going to have a fireside chat wherein we are going to discuss with industry leaders about what is happening around in the industry right now and also what is going to happen in 2021. So, as you all know, uh, we have already covered health tech sector and OTT sector in previous two sessions, and today we are going to cover aviation. So a lot of people have posted their questions and a lot of people have joined us today. So let's see, because this is really an exciting sector, and I guess somewhere down the line we all are connected to this because we have used it at least once or probably are going to use it very soon. So for today's session, I have with me Mr. Nitin Sethi, who is the Vice President Digital of Indigo Airlines. A little bit to talk about him. He brings with him a rich experience in product design and digital customer experience, which he has acquired over the last 20 years across leading internet and digital platform companies in India. He is currently leading the digital transformation for Indigo and has previously built and scaled Quicker.com, Yatra.com, Naukri.com, Indiatimes, Rediff, and Bharti Airtel. He is also mentor to many startups and has invested in a few of them as well. He also likes to speak on design thinking and digital transformation on many public forums and has authored several articles on the topic. Welcome to the chat, sir. It's a pleasure hosting you.
Well, thank you, Ayush. Thanks for such a nice intro. I didn't know many things about myself. Uh,
All right, it's always pleasure meeting you. So, as you know, the idea of this whole session or series was to invite industry leaders, and I wanted to talk to them about the growth, about how the things are developing in the industry. And when I thought of aviation, I couldn't think of anyone better than you. So my first question straight away, because as I was introducing you as well, you have worked with uh, Quicker.com, you have worked with Naukri.com, Rediff also was in the picture, and many other startups now, bigger companies. Then how did aviation happen of all of a sudden? What was the thing?
okay, so before I answer this particular question, let me clarify.
Okay,
This is a candid conversation and not a fireside chat. Right?
correct.
I'm no industry expert. I'm just going to share my perspective as a design thinker, as an individual,
Definitely.
and not from companies, because it's a very regulated sector,
Obviously.
right? So these are my personal opinion and views. Okay. Now let's come back to
Yeah.
come back to the question. Uh, so see, Ayush, I like to work with digital platforms, customer centric startups, and help them scale.
Correct.
Now, 18 years with core Indian lovable brands, starting from Bharti Airtel to Indiatimes to Rediff, done my own startups, part of Baby OA, then Naukri, Jeevan Sathi, 99 acres, Shiksha, first Naukri Gulf happened, you know, first versions of course, Policy Bazaar, Zomato's, right? And Merit Nation, and many of the info edge brands, Quadrangle and whatnot, right? And then Yatra happened, and then the most exciting journey of quicker verticalization happened, right? Uh, Becoming a core of a company which transformed a classified player into a unicorn.
Right.
Amazing, fascinated journey, and I was really enjoying my time at Quicker before I took a jump to to grab a tail of a flying plane. Now the idea was to do an incubation within Indigo. I've established an incubation team called 60 Digital. This team is basically responsible for digital transformation of the group. There was no digital before I joined them.
Okay.
So the idea was to change the DNA and focus on customer empathy and centricity to improve user journeys. Now I joined as an entrepreneur. You can say that it's my unit. I take calls and I've been empowered. I've been very lucky to work with the best seasoned leadership in this sector.
Right.
And the dream of leading one of the most lovable brands from India, which is going global, came true. And I would have been foolish to say no to such an opportunity,
Yeah.
right? And I love them. I loved Indigo as a customer,
Okay.
right? So it was like, I was already in love with them, dating them when I was at uh, Quicker,
Yeah.
because I did not shift in my family to Bangalore for first 2 years of my Quicker stint. So
Ah,
I was taking a flight, Friday night flight, and taking a Monday morning flight from Delhi. So I had done that close to 24 months nonstop. So that made me understand the good things and not so good things about the sector,
really
and I really wanted to make a difference and lead the change.
nice.
So I got an opportunity to bring the change, and I'm loving it.
That's great to know. Nice. All right. And I guess with that, you also answered what exactly, when you say digital, what exactly that means at Indigo. Would you like to add anything to that? Because for a lot of people, when I say it or when you say it, like, okay, I lead digital, not a lot of people are clear about that. So could you share a little?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and I say that it's a very curious question which keep coming to me. People say, are you heading digital marketing? I said no, absolutely not, right?
Right.
Digital marketing is only one practice which I take care, right? So starting from, it starts with customer, ends with customer. So starting from customer research to product design, user experience, UI, creative design, topical content, SEO, SEM, social marketing, digital marketing, performance marketing, right? The whole communication piece, analytics,
Okay.
front end, your mobile apps, your overall web platform, the communication you see, brand campaigns you see, right? So in totality, the 360 degree of the customer experience is something which I craft with all the awesome Indigo leadership. So I try and represent the customer point of view in that boardroom. And I am not saying that's an easy job, but it's a very interesting and fascinating job.
And when you said all of these vertical, I guess you must be having a big team with you.
Yeah, so it's a you can say a very young team of 110 odd folks. You can say it's a mix of in-house versus some selected partners, but they work from the Gurgaon headquarters where the 60 Digital got incubated, and we got the Digital Innovation Excellence Center.
Nice. That's fantastic. All right. So now moving a little bit further in the discussion, talking about COVID times, and since you mentioned that, okay, you are handling digital and which has all of these verticals coming under it. What was your first approach to the fact that there is no airlines that is going, or like airways that are allowed to fly any aeroplanes during for a particular month, or the overall business is sort of shut? What was your approach?
See, I'll take a step back and add a very different perspective. Was the COVID was not industry specific. COVID hit everybody very hard,
Yeah.
right? With COVID, a lot of uncertainty came in, and nobody was sure that what is going to happen next,
Yeah.
right? So even Indigo and the whole travel, tourism, aviation, these are the very hard hit industries,
Yeah.
and it was very difficult for us too. It was suddenly for close to 2 or 3 months, it was standstill. Millions of flight tickets got cancelled. It was difficult, right? And nobody knew that when it's going to open up. It's lots of money which had to give customers back, and we didn't know the policies, and a lot of things came clear during the course of action. But we kept focusing on customer communication, customer centricity with the great empathy. We kept them informed. We assured them their money is safe. We gave them an enable credit shells. We gave them vouchers, then started refunding. Now almost all the money which was with us got refunded to our customers, and they started using to rebook the flights, and even the validity was pretty decent. It was close to a year, and we are also extending that
Hmm.
case to case. So COVID, I'll say that COVID brings a lot of challenges, but COVID has opened a lot of opportunities too.
Okay.
Okay, so most of the brands which got better in COVID times. I'll give you an example. Indigo was at a 48% market share. That means every second flight was ours. Every second customer was flying on us.
Okay.
After COVID, our market share grew. We
Oh,
are at a 55.5% market share today,
wow.
right? So, and we became the only airline in the world whose market share grew, right? Grew like this,
Okay. This is
close to, more than 10%. So Indigo has done many things absolutely right.
okay.
And most of our things are around customers, and
Okay.
you can't go wrong on that.
Customer experience has been the key which you guys have.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Now, and as you rightly mentioned, also since Indigo is such a big brand, and in all of these unprecedented time, people look up to some of the industry leaders or some of the pioneers, right? Like, okay, now I want to see what's Indigo going to do to overcome this. So when everything was shut, and for that entire, let's say, 2 months, roughly 2 months, what was your thinking and your like how you were making sure that your team is functioning, because the message has to go out, the right message has to go out, and at the same time you have to retain the customers as well. So how did you go about that?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and I'm so glad that you are asking it this manner. For many brands, people don't realize that the retention is more important than acquiring new customers,
Yeah, yeah.
right? It's consistency matters, and consistency matters in a big way. So, on time, hassle-free, affordable fares, great network, right? And when we say all this, we say this for the customer, not from as a business.
Okay.
All these things are meaningful from a customer point of view, and that's our proposition.
Okay.
That's where we get the desirability out, right? That's where we are creating the value proposition. That's why we are trying to being very relevant even in the tough market.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So now, since we have already seen that, okay, COVID came, what all things can happen, do you think is this the time, like, is the time has come for the service category brands to think digital first?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not good to have anymore. It's essential, right? It's proactively surprise and delight, and there is no medium and channel than digital to do this, right? You know that when you're buying a car or a pizza or a cup or a shirt, the beautiful shirt like you're wearing, anything, right? Even a mobile case, you are doing that research first.
Right.
And travel is actually an experience. We don't sell a product or a service, we are selling an experience. We
Right.
craft experiences, right? So for this, being digital is an advantage which not many brands have got or even wanted to have, and they don't have that understanding, and even they are not investing. There are few leading brands like us. Tata's are doing it, Reliance is doing it,
Mhm.
right? Any brands which wants to be successful, even omni-channel brands are doing it.
Yeah.
Imagine Domino's having a great team. New age brands, like you pick any brand.
Yeah.
Most of the startups are taking a digital first approach and then trying to have the omni-channel experience. But ultimately, it's digital first. Either you innovate, you win the customer,
Yeah.
or you don't have any market,
True.
right?
True that.
So you can't build a great brand these days without having a digital presence and good digital platform.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what all of the leaders or industry leaders are trying. That's how they say digital India. That's how they are making sure that we
Yeah,
digitalize everything.
yeah. So next decade, right? 21 to 30 is a digital age,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And India is going to lead that. We will have at least 35, 40 startups
Mhm.
becoming unicorn in
Unicorn.
next 3, 4 years, right? And the pace is very rapid, is
Yeah.
growing very fast.
Got it. All right. That was interesting. Now, talking to some to the other phase. So we have discussed that when once lockdown was imposed and COVID came in picture, what was the actual thing? Now, taking a step ahead. Now that first the flights were allowed to run and allowed to fly, and a lot of regulations were given. what exactly was your approach, or maybe you can talk from an industry point of view that what airlines should do in terms of marketing during the recovery stage? If you can talk about some examples or case studies.
Yeah, so it's a ecosystem stand, right? So the focus became on the health and security and safety,
Yeah.
right? And it was not so much about the price points, right? Or good to have things. These are essential things. Nobody wanted to compromise,
Right.
right? And it was very clear mandate. It's a public private, government partnership,
Correct.
and it worked beautifully for India. If you see the data and the trends, we are actually close to 65-70% of the pre-COVID levels. Indigo is flying more than 1,000 flights every day with 75%
Occupancy.
occupancy, right? This is mammoth, right?
Wow.
And when you say bounce back, it's a hockey stick,
Yeah.
recovery.
Oh, yeah.
And we say that a lot of people keep talking about revenge travel. I say that travel is so essential for everybody's life, because whether it's millennial, and we all understand that, buying a house is one thing, but traveling is the thing,
Yeah.
right? So people are not so much into materialistic things these days. They want to travel, experience the world, and it's happening now. I'm sure you're working not from your Bangalore. You're working from some fancy destination, right? So many of my friends have gone to Chandigarh, Shimla,
Yeah.
Goa, Pondicherry. So the work from home has enabled so much,
Yeah.
right? That people are actually having great time even in these restricted, regulations and all that. And
Correct.
with all those measures, I'm telling you, so aviation and airlines, air travel is the safest mode of travel.
As of now.
Absolutely. It was, it is, and it will be,
Will be. Yeah.
right? So
That.
you, in a public transport thing, you in 10-hour journey, the probability of you getting versus a 2-hour journey,
Is.
especially with the HEPA filters and all that, and all those precautions, aviation industry along with airports, along with government is taking, is remarkable.
Exactly. And when you say that these like for you as a brand, your customers comes first and the experience comes first. So at the time recovery stage wherein you were just starting off the flights and the marketing things were all started, I guess escalations was one of the major points that you guys must have keeping in mind, because as soon as one case arrives on the airplane, and I haven't done much research, but I don't know if there were any cases across India or not.
See, yeah, there were cases,
Okay.
right? But there was handful of cases,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And it's and but you need to stick to your core, right? You are doing a national carrier's job, right? Indigo, with such a market share, with such a leadership stand, we had to do and make it happen because all the other mediums were not happening,
Right.
right? So it's a national responsibility which a brand has,
Got it.
and we're very proud and honored to do this,
Do that. Yeah.
right? So transforming lives and enabling this whole travel ecosystem for India and even Southeast Asia
Right.
is I think once in a lifetime type of opportunities for all of us at Indigo.
Right. And you also rightly mentioned about this that so I consider two factors majorly important which any airline company must have thought upon. First was aircraft, the experience during the flight, and the second was airport, right? And we have seen a lot of airports now that a lot of airports have brought in some of the other changes. Can you speak about some of the changes which you are aware of, or which you think can airports start incorporating so that we can somehow minimize the percentage of getting the COVID much lesser? Do you have
A-
any?
Yeah, absolutely. Many of the hardcore processes got digitized, right? So digital transformation got such an awesome pace. The web check-in numbers are close to 95%. The health declaration, the bag tags, home bag tag got enabled. The screening was happening. The sanitization was happening. The whole experience with now some airports. already doing a POC with Digi Yatra. So
Yeah.
government is also coming along, airports are also coming around. A lot of innovation is happening to streamlining these processes and digitizing these. So
Yeah.
it's a touchless, seamless experience these days, and that's what matters. That's most of the brands. It's just not us. Whether it's Air Asia, Spice, Go, Air India, everybody is coming together, partnering, and doing it.
Got it.
Right? It's great for the industry, great for the customers.
Got it. And from my personal point of view, I took my first flight after COVID in the month of August, I guess. And at that time, Bangalore airport had automated 90% of the effort. And that's one thing that I want to understand, that now once the vaccine is there and the world comes back to normal, hopefully, are we going to return back to the previous step, or this is how we are going to see things go ahead?
No, no, absolutely not. We are not going back, and the customers are loving it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because it makes customer on the driving seat, right? Customer are so empowered that he's able to do everything on his own,
Exactly.
right? And of course, there is a human touch. I'm not saying that we are taking all the human touch. Whenever customer needs help, hand holding, the team is there. But the self service is going to stay. Self service is the way forward,
Right.
right?
Right.
You never want to sit where somebody else is telling you. You always like to choose what is available, right?
Understood. All right. Now, let's. I just want to emphasize a little bit more on the in-flight activity, to be very specific. So, do you think, like, what exactly are your thoughts on in-flight entertainment post COVID-19? You know?
See, yeah, in-flight experience once you are on 30,000 feet, right? So there are set expectations.
Mhm.
I think that customer expectations are exceeding all the times, right? So people want better food options. People want great hygiene. People want seat preference. People really want to if read a magazine, a digitized version of the magazine, and all that happened in this time,
Yeah.
right? And more and more personalization happened on this front, right? We are a low cost carrier, so we don't have an in-flight entertainment like that, but we have transformed our print magazine to digitized versions, which is our 60 magazine. Uh, and whether the choice of selecting a particular meal which is not available even during the aircraft, but if you pre-book,
Reboot.
that's available.
Okay.
So the digitized version of the things have empowered the customer to select from even a wider variety,
All right. Yeah.
and that was not there, right? The numbers are so encouraging, people are doing it more and more,
Got it.
right? But the challenge remains. The
Yeah.
challenge remains on the tier two, tier three markets, where the whether it's a connectivity or the type of people who are traveling are not, that well versed with the technology or the hardware even. Where there are feature phone audience, right? And that's where more innovation and service needs to happen, and we are onto it.
Understood. And on your like, after listening to what you had to say, I see a lot of positivity for the airline sector out there. So, is this crisis an opportunity for airlines to increase their direct e-commerce channel share?
Absolutely. I think what has happened on the demonetization for digital wallets
Yeah.
and some of the brands like Paytm and Google Pay and Amazon Pay, and it's a so like I said before, with COVID, a lot of challenges and crisis came,
Yeah.
but it also enables a lot of opportunity and innovation for the brands to do. We've started crafting even more tailor-made experiences,
Right.
right? And the 360-degree channel approach has worked out so well that the customer, ultimately you own the customer as a brand, right? Whether you book a ticket on a OTA or Ease My Trip or Make My Trip or Clear Trip or Yatra or Go IB or Kayak or Skyscanner and 10 more things,
Yeah.
right? But you book an Indigo's ticket, you are my customer, right?
Yeah. Eventually, it's
So if you if you
communication.
if you if you come to my platform, we don't differentiate. We treat all our customers with so much love that you can download your boarding pass itinerary, invoice, you can modify, cancel, add meet, and all this, even with a great chatbot and a multilingual platform and whatnot, right?
Right.
So it's proactively surprise and delight, right? I keep saying that's a proactive approach.
Yeah.
Rather than a reactive experience, you become a proactive person. There is always an engagement, there is always a communication, it's always two ways.
True.
Our CEO, Rono, he keeps saying, you don't need to wait for the customer to come back.
Okay. Unique. Yeah.
You need to reach out and inform and proactively do it,
Nice.
right?
Nice. All right. But at the same time, we can't deny the fact that every coin has two sides, and we surely know that there is a lot of opportunity that lies ahead of us. But at the same time, whether like there are going to be some of the barriers, like we can overcome that, we won't be able to overcome that. That is second thing. But what do you think the barriers are for digital retails on board for airlines?
See, it's a omni-channel experience, Ayush,
Okay.
right? So balance of customer and digital first, right, and the physical retail is
Yeah.
a very tricky, it's a very thin line, it doesn't have a thick ground, right? These are overlapping experiences. Can you say that traveling is only a digital first experience, or can becoming a only digital experience? It can't,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? Even if you order a great cup, a personalized cup like this, is it a only digital experience? No, the personalization is digital, but ultimately you're getting a physical experience,
Right.
right?
Right.
So there are some processes which are hard to move around. These are like big elephants in the room,
Mhm.
but I think the whole ecosystem is coming together to to take that leap and improve the overall offering to the customer.
Yeah.
The Digi Yatra is one such initiative,
Okay.
right? And it is coming from the government, and all the carriers are coming together to do this.
And
Indigo is,
and
yeah.
if you don't mind, can you just talk a little bit about Digi Yatra, because a lot of people might not be knowing about it.
Yeah, so Digi Yatra is basically a digital identity. You will have a very seamless experience from. So there is no. It's all like what you have it on through Book My Show in the PVR.
Okay, just a QR code sort of stuff.
So
That's it.
no stamp, no
Okay.
ticket, paperless.
Okay. That's
And in the COVID time, it's touchless, right? So what you're using is only screen. You're
yeah.
not touching even a thing if you don't want to. You're not comfortable. And the POC is happening in a Varanasi airport. Imagine that.
Okay.
PM state, right? So it's happening at such a level, and there was be so much pace, just like Aadhaar or having a PAN card or this. It's going to be a digital first India,
Right.
right? It's going to be, the aviation industry is going through the transformation with such a pace that the innovation going to happen in next 5 years didn't happen in last 70 or even 100 years,
Right.
right? And that's what we're going to witness. And some of us, I got lucky to be part and becoming just right at center, in that all hush
Yeah.
mush,
Yeah.
right?
Yours position is surely an interesting one, I would guess. I would like, I suppose it's like really interesting thing because
Yeah, sometimes I get jealous of myself only.
this was nice. All right. Now that we have talked a lot about the customer experience thing, we can't deny the fact that the entire industry or any particular airways, they are running because of revenue that they generate, and all of this COVID thing and post COVID first lockdown stuff, I guess a lot of airlines must have got hit on their revenue. So, what do you think? How can airlines generate revenue after the crisis? Like, what do the roles of airport marketing, omni-channel, and digitalization in general play in this situation? What do you think?
See, it's a cliche when people say that you have to put yourself in a customer shoe, but it's very right,
Okay.
right? The theme of improving customer experience is never going to out of fashion, right?
Yeah.
it's it's is that experience which gives you smile, right?
Exactly.
Right. So whether you're buying a chicken tikka sandwich or a jungly sandwich with a badam milk or a coffee, or you're having a cashew nut, or you are enjoying a 1A,
Uh,
right? Or you are having a flexi
yeah.
fare. So I don't think that there are less opportunities to make money.
Okay.
I think you have to look at like that, that how many opportunities are there to improve the user journeys.
Correct.
If there are endless opportunities and pain points,
Mhm.
there are endless opportunities to make money.
Right. Right.
India doesn't have a problem of money. Making money is the easiest thing,
Correct.
right? There are very few brands which are actually delivering what they promise, right? Many gurus and the industry leaders which
Mhm.
have seen successful exits and built the most awesome brands have said,
Okay.
right? There are very few brands which can really deliver what they promise. People buy from the brands they trust, right, Ayush?
Right. Exactly.
Right?
True.
Android versus iOS is that trust and the quality. Yes, there is a debate, but given a choice, I choose iOS. Yeah, right. Apple fanboy, right? But at the same time, we still love Ola and Flipkart or Amazon for the experiences they are creating,
Exactly.
right? But personalization is never going out of style.
True. True that.
Meaningful communication and conversations are never going out of style.
I guess it's going to get better only because personalization holds a lot of key for most of the customer experience thing that we do, right?
Yeah, but personalization for you and me are two different things,
Obviously. Yeah.
right? So brands can't have a blanket thing and they say, okay, we have so much data, but what are you going to do with that data,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Right.
You can't keep sending me stuff which is not meaningful. I have searched on something 5 years back. You can't keep sending me emails on that
Right.
topic, right? You have to ask me whether it's relevant or meaningful for me right now at this stage or not. I travel for business with a different frame of mind. When I travel for holiday or a backpacking, I have a different preferences.
Right. Right.
You need to understand my needs, my perspective, right? And then make that experience.
Right. That's people should have to like they need to know the customers really well now.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
so it starts with customer empathy, it's end with customer empathy and perspective.
true that.
No less, no more.
And I guess not just for aviation, I believe it's for
Everything. It's
everything.
yeah. So all the industries I work for, right? Whether it's Naukri being number one, because the platform is such, and the focus of the team, even the call center executive, is
Mhm.
on the core,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So
Exactly.
for us, is our four values. That's it. It's our four values. So digitalization is coming on customer empowerment, coming on centricity, coming on hassle free. Like I told you, right?
Right.
On time, hassle free, affordable fares, great network. So
Yeah.
digital team is making customer empowerment, customer centricity, and strengthening that hassle free pillar.
True that.
And that's why it's coming around so well after connecting the dots.
That's there. True. All right. Yeah, that's surely true. Moving to the next question, and now a little bit industry agnostic, but from a outsider point of view, can you talk a little bit about, or is there any particular trend outside aviation industry which you think can catch aviation off guard? Is there anything?
No, yeah, I think there are a lot of trends which are changing very fast in this time because the customer behavior has changed,
Mhm.
right? Customer needs are also changed.
Okay.
So when we say that there are less business travel happening so far with the trend, but now we are seeing a lot of holidays and personal travel happening,
Okay.
right? Initially, it was a one-way trip. Now the return trips are gone, all good, right? When we say that now, whether it's Malay or Goa or even hills, it's all full. It's 85-90% loads. And tier two, tier three, we are seeing more traction and more growth,
Okay.
right? And so e-commerce, WhatsApp commerce, the social space are going to support the traditional industries such as aviation and even retail.
Okay.
I don't think that anything is changing or harming any industry in this manner. The ecosystem is evolving and evolving for good.
Good. That's good.
But brands needs to transform, change fast. Social listening and customer centricity has to keep going up. The design thinking and iterative ideation is core for that success.
And you happen to mention that somehow you guys are seeing a greater volume of leisure travel rather than business travel, right? So, sorry.
So yeah, so numbers are picking both, but I think the leisure and personal travel is, you know, are
Kind of
are, are
leader.
beating the business one as of
So,
today.
as a person who is leading a digital front of a big airlines, so was there any approach in difference in approach, to be very honest? Because earlier you guys must be portraying yourself or taking things out in a different manner, but now it has to be a little bit more on the personal front, not just the business end. So was there any change in approach?
See, Ayush, for us, I think transparent communication is the key
Okay.
on what we do. Aviation is itself is a very regulated sector,
Hmm.
right? And you can't and you should not. It's absolutely tailor-made, very transparent communication. But our communication is different for customer, our channel partners, SMEs, OTAs. So
Right.
we have 4, 5 core personas, and then there are sub personas.
Absolutely.
So right, it's very personalized.
Okay.
Okay, and I think you can say not an easy thing to crack and do and innovate and improve,
Mhm.
but again, a area which is worth investing and keep investing more and more. And as a brand, to get right partners and talent and innovation from the startup is the key for Indigo to, came out as a winner and a, better brand compared to many.
Got it. Right. And this whole while you have been mentioning that what was exciting factors because of which you happened to join aviation industry. Uh, can you talk about like what's your views that digital leaders are getting space in senior leadership and boardroom discussions, or are they still away from that?
It's a tricky question, but I definitely like to answer it very honestly.
Okay.
Uh, I think a big yes, and very happily saying this because uh, if you look at more traditional brands being led by design and digital leaders, and that's such a welcoming change which industry is witnessing, and it's happening. The whole empowerment has been given, just not me. Many brands are crafting so much, on the customer side, and I'm not saying that we have dared on the digital maturity yet,
Mhm.
but we are progressing it, and we're progressing very, very well. Just not aviation. If you look at auto, e-commerce, retail, traditional SME, uh, more you see more and more successful digital leaders, right? Uh, yeah, it's absolutely people are getting their worth and getting awesome opportunity. There is no best time. I keep saying there is no best time to becoming a digital or a design leader in this space.
This space. Exactly. And do you have any tips for individuals who would be very much interested in joining aviation sector?
Aviation is not a easy sector, guys. Right? A very challenging
Mhm.
and rewarding at both the sides, right? Two sides of the coin,
Right.
right? But like I say, crafting experience is difficult but most fun. So yes, aviation, travel, hospitality needs more and more young blood, innovators,
Yeah.
design thinkers, and you're most welcome. There is so much to be done. We've just started. There is so much to be done.
Right. And after all of these 8 months of hustle bustle that you guys did, preparing yourself for the COVID times, once the lockdown happened, and now since the normalcy is somewhat restored, sort of. Is there any learnings which you can share or which you want to share with the people who are watching this? Like any learning which is specific to this particular sector?
Yeah, so when you're caught off guard, when things are not happening your way, don't lose hope. I think hope is very important.
Okay.
Being optimistic, being hopeful, being positive. Um, if you as a leader are not having a positive outlook, you can't do. So I'm a hardcore optimistic. That has worked in my favor. And we as Indigo is very optimistic uh, brand and company. We are winning the world. We are going to make India very proud. And of course, we'll continue to improve on customer experience. That's the key. There are no failures, I say, and it's a startup thing, right? Either you make big or you learn. So, but go big or go home.
Definitely. All right. And what's that one thing that keeps you moving? Because this was just a normal conversation, but I could see that spark in you when you are talking about or representing your aviation sector or Indigo or you as an individual. So, what's that one thing that keeps you moving?
No, yeah, I think India has a lot of potential. Indigo has a lot of potential, and I believe that I have a lot of potential. I've still not done my best. I still like to value add and do more and more. And I think India will come as superpower. Indigo will come as super brand, and hopefully me coming as the top digital leader in the world.
When we talk about the Superman in digital space, people should know.
Right, so you can say the customer man in the digital
Uh,
space is that's why I would like to be called,
That's
right?
a fancy tool.
Yeah, a design thinker which represent the customer is what Nitin Sethi is.
Nice, impressive. And do you remember your first flight? When did you took your first flight? Do you remember the year?
Yeah, it's I think ages back now. I'm 20 twice, so I don't know.
This
but
is
but
2020. Still, how many years ago you took your first flight?
I think I must be in my 20s, yeah, around early 20s.
I
It's
would
it's
say this close to 25 years ago.
I'm only 20 twice, so yeah, 20 years ago. So yeah, I was not fortunate like today's millennials.
Yeah,
I come from a lower middle class family, and I had to work hard to reach where I am.
and all.
But yes, you know, it was a great experience. Everybody likes to fly,
Yeah,
and making millions fly and India fly is a
that's
dream come true.
true.
I'm just not flying alone. I'm making a lot of people fly with smiles on and creating happy memories.
Definitely.
It's a dream job, Ayush, right? One thing I keep, I'm a very lucky guy, right? I'm really doing what I'm very good at, and I'm being paid to have fun. That's the best thing happened to anybody, right? Uh,
Nice. That's really nice. And let's say in last 20 years, we have come a long way. The time you took your first flight to right now, when you are taking decisions of when and how people are going to fly. What the future holds for us in aviation? Like let's just talk about 2021. In just 1 year, what sort of advancement or what sort of new things we can expect from the aviation industry?
See, technology is enabler. I think you will see more design play, more customer centricity. Customer will get more loved, right? A brand like Indigo coming back with a 60 rewards like a loyalty program is a testimony of our craftsmanship and focus.
Right.
So a SME getting a flexi fare where he can do n number of rescheduled changes. So most of the product and services which is being offered is around the customer. It wasn't the case 10 years back. And we are just starting up, right? So in time to come, you can say that you will be able to choose and craft the way you can. So today you can book a wedding charter, you can book a full plane, you can book a full row, you can book 2 seats, you can do what you want to charter flights, cargo.
Right.
So the whole verticalization happened even in the aviation. Imagine that. And that has helped in bouncing back, right? So
Yeah.
we are going to solve more and more customers. We are going to make lovable experience for more and more different type of customers in different areas,
Yeah.
and making travel delightful. I say, right? Sexy, sexy is what we're gonna do.
All right. That brings us to the end of session, at least from my end. But we have got a few questions, a few familiar names who have asked me a few questions.
Wow.
So, so we have got a question on Facebook Live, and Puneet, Mr. Puneet wants to ask you that how the international expansion works pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Yeah. So, okay, it's a industry wide question, right? So, Indigo, we are in a short haul, flight business and low cost carrier, right? So we are not a full fledged carrier, and we don't fly to US and
Okay.
London yet. Uh, so pre-COVID, it was gaining a lot of growth and pace on the international side, right? Post-COVID, the focus on strengthening the the domestic network,
Right.
right, has gained more momentum. But now with air bubbles coming back, more and more international flights are getting opened. Every week, one destination is getting added.
Right.
So as of now, I think 11 odd international destinations even we are flying, and in you can say a quarter or two, you will see even a better growth than the pre-COVID level. What I can say.
Okay. Interesting times ahead then. We have got another question. Sarvanan wants to ask you that what channels are working well post COVID-19? Have they outsourced work post pandemic?
Okay, so for aviation in general, I think mobile is working more beautifully. That's your personal device, right? More and more people are having access. The internet penetration has gained more. So yes, it's your personal device. Mobile is working beautifully. Our app share has gone up. Our mobile share has gone up. The customers we are serving on a chatbot, self-service chatbot, which are Dotty, has seen a tremendous welcoming response. So yeah, I think is digital channels, right? Whether you are using it for self service or researching or doing a booking. So planning, like I say, pre travel, during travel, and post travel,
Mhm.
all three areas, the digital channels are supporting and enabling the
Right.
customer needs.
Got it. All right. I guess thanks for asking questions, Sarvanan and Puneet. I guess you got your answers. For anyone who has joined us today, if you guys want to ask some questions, you can shoot it in the Q&A tab below. Meanwhile, I have one last question for you. Where can we see you traveling next if you are traveling?
You never get tired, right? You always come poking me on my personal things.
Yes.
I'm not going to say that, hey Ayush, let's go to Bangkok because that's opening, or
So,
let's let's go to Mali because the whole Bollywood is going there,
yeah.
right? Uh, I am more vocal for local, and I'm going to may travel to Darjeeling or visit Andamans again,
Uh-huh.
uh, right? And I love Goa. I've been there at least 10 times, and I don't mind coming there to meet you and having a cup of coffee,
Yes, coffee.
uh, right? And coffee is on you. But I think India has not seen the true India yet,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We millennials have a more responsible job to uh, succeed the SMEs, the small businesses, and even the help businesses, hotels, tourism industry bounce back. So you get an opportunity, yes, travel abroad, but travel within India also, right? It's a 1 year. I think it's a spring response which we should get. I have at least 5 trips in mind. I hope my senior leadership allows me to do, but that's what I get paid for. I get paid to have fun, and that's my job. Traveling is my job.
Wow, exactly. All right. And after listening to this, I guess almost all the attendees are surely jealous of what you do.
I'm telling you, at times
Jealous
I
of
get
the.
jealous myself, but God has been kind. God has been more than kind, and let's keep traveling, man.
Definitely.
And
And
and travel on Indigo is sexy, right? Sexy digital. I keep saying. You know,
Definitely.
book direct on Indigo's app. Share feedback if you have any, and we'll love to get your inputs and thoughts and serve you.
Definitely. And on this note, we are going to end this fireside chat because I'm done with my questions, and this was really fun. Thanks, sir, for doing this because I know I asked you very randomly out of curiosity that, okay, should we do this? And you said, yes, let's do this. So thanks a lot for helping me go through this.
It's Ayush, it's giving back to the ecosystem, right? We having a combined responsibility to create more and more leaders, and at least I keep saying that 10K design thinkers is my own personal responsibility.
Right.
So even if it's 10 less today, that's pretty helpful. And I really with folded hands, with
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm very thankful for the opportunity, with full of gratitude. It really means a lot, and I like I said, it's not a fireside chat. It's a very candid conversation.
Exactly.
I just had a great conversation with a friend, and over a virtual cup of coffee.